Hello everyone and welcome to the Deep Blue Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deep Blue Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 95. Today is Sunday, June, must be 12th. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the 12th. And I am really glad that you could join me today. So I am actually recording way earlier than usual because I realized I'm not gonna end up doing a lot of knitting today. Well, normally I'll try to finish something up or whatever, but there are a couple of things I want to take care of. It's looking, what is it? So that was the case where I'm like, oh, and I'll bring my computer outside and I'll sit outside while I clean the fleece. And I'm like, you know what? I should just record now. Get it over with, call it good. So we might even have full show notes. Wouldn't that be extra fancy? So the short answer is that today I'm doing a lot of things to be totally ready for SSK, which is Wednesday. So I was like, oh crap. But I think because of that, whatever, it's been a busy couple of days. So I guess to start, I'll start with what's towards the top of the pile. This is the Fragile Heart Shawl. It is a pattern by Boo Knits. I am making the medium size of this shawl, and hopefully I don't run out of yarn. So I am still plugging away on this. I think I have a wrong side row, and then I think I have another row with beads in. So this is ta-da! So this is how it's going so far. I'm not quite done with the first chart repeat. I'm knitting this out of Madeline Tosh Merino Light in the Cousteau colorway, and it is coming along nicely. I haven't been working on it too much because it'll just be the case where I'll be sitting at the computer, but then need to pull up the chart. So I printed out the charts yesterday so that I could work on it while I'm watching podcasts or something like that. And it is coming along. It's looking like this is going to be my more challenging project that I end up bringing with me. And we'll see how much stuff gets done on it. I've been enjoying the pattern so far, so it's been good. I guess I will put that down there. It is quite warm right now, so maybe my plan of cleaning the fleece outside is a silly one, but oh well. The breeze feels nice, so maybe I can get away with turning the fan on out here or something like that. The next thing, which got a decent amount of progress yesterday, was my short rope shuffle socks. So I have finished the foot. And it seems like the foot's really short, but I tried it on and it didn't seem too far off the mark, so I'm just going to go with it for now. And maybe end up doing a bunch of plain rows before I really launch into the afterthought, or whatever, launch into the decrease section. But I did pull it off the waste yarn, and so now I have my little gaping hole. And I'll probably end up picking quite a few stitches up in the in-between spots, and I'll probably end up, I need to do a little bit of rejiggering, because when I was pulling the pattern off from this side, it was, I think I lost some important stitches or something. From as far as I can tell. Some sort of funny business is going on, so. Or at the very least, I lost one. Maybe 2 stitches, so. I know I lost one here because there's a pretty decent sized hole there. So I'll make it work out. So it needed a little bit more thought than TV watching or whatever was going to allow, so. But I do really like the pattern and how it turned out. It has this cool, basically, spiral that's consistent throughout the entire sock. And then in the toe it ended up pooling nicely, so or whatever, making for that stripy sort of pool, which I think looks really nice. So it is coming along. So there's still some thought that needs to be done, so some troubleshooting I need to do, but hopefully everything ends up working out. And I don't see why it wouldn't work out, so that is the story there. And then the other thing I've been working on is, I don't know if I cast this on last week or not, but this is the Gaptastic Cowl, or basically a variation on the Gaptastic Cowl. So, so it's the case where I have two different colors. This is yarn that I ended up getting in the Yankee yarn swap with my local yarn shop in Indiana years and years ago, and I just had no clue what to do with it. So I realized it would be a really great charity knit to make this cool big cowl out of all of it. So I weighed it, and I figured out that I had like 161 of this sage green, and then I had 116 grams of the gray, which is pussy willow. And so then I figured out how many stripes I needed to make. I started, I think it was a ratio of like 14 to 10 or 5 to 7 or something like that, which I then doubled to 14 to 10, and then the numbers weren't quite working out for having the yarn be in the right place where I needed it. I didn't want to weave in its ends. So I'm now doing 28 rows of the sage green and then 20 rows of the gray. And then I'm doing a different flat pattern, so the gray gets a seed stitch, or sorry, this gray gets a moss stitch and the green gets a seed stitch. So it has like a texture difference and a color difference in it, which I think is pretty cool. So I still have quite a bit to go on this, but it's really mindless knitting. What I've been doing is actually in the morning before I go into work, doing a couple rows just to sort of chill out and all that other fun stuff. Okay, so do a couple rows before I go in, chill out. Chill out for a little while and go from there. So what is it? So it's been pleasant so far working on that. I'm hoping that it'll, like, the plan would be to be able to donate it when I'm at SSK, so so there is still quite a bit of work left to be done on that guy, but I'm thinking it might be too boring for card knitting, but it might be good for SSK knitting, so we'll go with it. And pretty much I'm just gonna knit until I run out of yarn, and I think it'll end up being a decent size, so I guess I haven't weighed it recently. I'm going through the green ball, or the first, so I ended up having like 40% of this ball. So I've gone through a decent amount of it already with the first stripe, so hopefully it's not too small. But the Gaptastic Cowl actually has you cast on all the way around, and then you knit the tube. And what I am doing is actually working it sideways, so that is, what would that be? At the very least, I think that just ensures that I'm using plenty of the yarn and all the other fun stuff. And then what will probably be going on my needles soon, once I figure out what size needles to do it is, so I pulled out this skein here, so this is a skein I ended up getting earlier this year in a swap, or I think it was the Christmas swap. And this is Sammy in Wool Mice Up Here. And I'm going to be casting on a hitchhiker. Ah. So what is it? So I have the pattern printed out, ready to go. I think these are really fun colors, so it's a combination of like reds and yellows and bright blues and whites, so I think it'll pool crazy and look great in pattern. So and like I needed to do it in Wool Mice, so so I think that's going to be my mindless project, and we'll see how that ends up going, because I don't tend to do a whole lot of vanilla socks, and the short row shuffles I've discovered are not as vanilla as I would have liked. But who knows? I think that would be plenty of knitting. That's plenty of things. What? Because when you think about it realistically, I knit a pair of socks in 4 days, and that was pretty much just knitting socks across those 4 days, so you just have to think about that for a moment and realize how much knitting you can actually get done. But I'd like to have a variety of projects. If it turns out the lace shawl is too complicated, then I'll have a backup plan, and that'll be lovely. The breeze feels lovely. Enjoying it. So that is it for knitting. I can't show you my spinning because it's all taking a bath. So the chamomile connection is taking a bath. I did show that last week. My chocolate Shetland fleece, who the hell knows what number it is done. I don't know if I showed that last week. I think I'd finished the singles of it last week. And so that one is, that one turned out to be 101 yards. And then I have the second chocolate Shetland fleece for the tour, which came in a little bit shy of 80 yards. And they're both about 2-ounce skeins, so I was giving them their bath so I could take a group shot because for the completely twisted and arbitrary tour of the fleece, in order to qualify for prizes, you have to have at least 4 ounces of yarn, so I'm going to have 2 skeins done in order to qualify for their things. And it should qualify for their challenges, so my goal was simply to spin for the chocolate Shetland fleece, and so that will be what I spin for the remainder of Tour of the Fleece, except for maybe a couple of blips of other things. Which is why I realized that I didn't have nearly enough fiber prepped. So that is why I'm sitting outside and recording earlier than usual, because I am now down to my last bag of roll logs. And I really hope this bag of roll logs is better than the last bag of roll logs. I hope this was the first one I implemented the little bit of everything thing, but I'm not sure looking at it if that's the case. I don't know, I've like talked to you guys about it before, but the short answer, I have like a whole entire system of plastic bags, which were not in reach. Sorry about that. So, I have my big chunks, and that most of the stuff which I'm prepping up in my bucket are the big chunks. Oops, sorry there. I then have my smaller chunks. These are ones where the staple length is as long, but they're still in lock formation. And then I have my, in this bag, diffuse random fluff, which probably has a lot of seconds in it. I probably need to be a little bit more ruthless about this particular one. Because if it's seconds, I can't spin it. So it ends up in a pile on the floor by my spinning wheel, which is awkward. But the goal is today to finish, rearrange all the bags so I can do something. So the goal is to take the fleece, which has been sitting outside my porch for a little while, like this stuff, get the hay out, because you can see it. There's hay. Get the hay out, get it separated into locks. Where'd my coffee go? I can't lose the coffee. Alright, didn't lose my coffee, it's okay. So, get the hay out, separate it into locks, and hopefully actually wash it. And then, there is quite a bit, there already. But I need to do it on a weekend because, in the evenings after I get home, like, the bugs are out, and it's terrible getting bitten by all the bugs, so it's better if I can do all of the washing or what is it? So it's better if I can do, I need to do the washing during daytime hours, which means the only time I have daytime hours is the weekend. And I ended up, being really busy this weekend, so, what is it? So it'd be the case where I ended up not getting back until dark last night, so I'm like, crap. I'm running out of fleece. I need to wash the rest of the fleece, and so it's more like just sort of buckling down and actually getting it done. And then I won't have a bunch of fleece hanging out on my back porch. So I think what I'm going, so I have my containers. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and just take water straight out of the hot water heater, and just cut out the boiling step entirely. And what I'm going to need, because I'm going to do a slightly different way of washing fleece, is those like dishwashing gloves, like the thick gloves, so that you can stick your hands into the hot water without having a problem. And I think with that, I can run through it all rather quickly. I have no clue how much I have, but I'm sure it's not the end of the world. And I brought actually all of this stuff is out here because I also need to card more Rologs. So I'll probably end up weighing the bag I have and trying to guesstimate whether or not I need to throw in another Rolog. I ended up stealing one of the ones from my partially done bags in order to make it up to about 2 ounces on one of the skeins. So I've been sort of cannibalizing the Rologs because I just had such a massive pile of seconds after the last spin. It was so ridiculous. So I hope that wasn't after I had figured out the distributing everything and getting a little bit of everything for the Rolog making, in which case I've just made dreadful Rologs. Or what, but yeah, it's sort of crazy making. But there is, quite a lot that I need to do to finish it, and I just really need to finish it. For lack of a better word, it just needs to get done. Let's see. So that's going to be my plan for the rest of the day. There are a couple of other things I would like to do too. So I'd like to get everything packed for SSK. I ended up making all of the tags yesterday for all of the sweaters I'm planning on bringing. I want to repair one of the sweaters because it ended up having, 2 cut stitches on it, so I need to basically MacGyver some sort of way in order to hold everything together again. And then I might need jump rings because, I need jump rings because I am making some stitch markers. So I think I have some already, and I'm going to end up making some more. And this time I'm actually going to, instead of doing the bead and jump ring, what I'm going to do is basically super glue the bead where the jump ring goes in. So I think that'll end up working out really nice, and then the yarn doesn't end up getting trapped there, because that can be annoying. So there's a lot of stuff that needs to be accomplished today, but none of it is explicitly knitting, as you can understand. So for stuff getting ready for knitting retreat and stuff that will eventually be knit after I spin it, but it's all related. Just I wasn't gonna get any more progress done on any of my projects, and screw it. So with that, hopefully I'll be able to post lots of pictures on Instagram, and feel free to follow me on Instagram. My name on there is Deepbluerenegade, which comes as no surprise if any of you guys are not following me there. If you're a knitter and you don't have lots of spammy posts, generally I follow you back. So my Instagram feed is filled with knitting. It's awesome. And I will be recording again Sunday the 19th. It might end up being a little bit later. We'll see how tired I am. It hasn't been a very restful weekend, so. And I can imagine that it's entirely possible I just won't be sleeping, so. So exciting! So I am really, really looking forward to SSK, and all that other fun stuff. And I'm not quite sure what my plan is going to be for spinning at SSK, because the bags of roll-logs aren't the most portable thing ever. But I don't think I set up my goal such that I need to finish spinning the chocolate challenge, please. It's more just that I've been going at a pretty good clip with the spinning, so it's nice to be on a roll with this stupid thing. If you know what I mean. And it's looking positive now with all of this even more fleece that I will be able to have a, what is it, like plenty of yarn extra for this particular sweater. So that is very exciting indeed. Anything else I wanted to talk about? No, not that I can think of. So, what is it? So I hope you guys all have a very wonderful week, and I look forward to talking to you guys next week. So take care, guys. Bye-bye.